Lady of the Faucets, let's get it.
It's R2R, it's R2R, back to riches, back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R, back to riches, back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R, back to riches, back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R, back to riches, back to riches. Got my call from the R2R. Farmers going up, Brody, check the chart. In the loot, buying all these plots. Thomas G and Mike got the chat on lock. With a drip and pause. Got these dogs and pigeons, farm me, I'm ready to score. Got me a bag of the rich and hard, I think I need more. Group got me in a wave, now I'm swimming the shore. I'm up to the core. It's R2R, it's R2R. Back to riches, back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R. Back to riches, just back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R. Back to riches, back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R. Back to riches, just back to riches.
Yeah, dog. Welcome to R2R, Wreck to Riches live stream number 69, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we are going to be talking about Pulsechain. We'll be talking about Pulsechain every day, even if it's episode 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 100. We are going to be covering it. So don't forget, if you're on YouTube, pound the like button, drop a comment, subscribe, post notifications so you see the next video. We're also dual streaming over there on X as well. It's important. You got a lot of hashtags. Hashtag Hex, hashtag PLS, hashtag PLSX, right? All your pDAI, pUSD, pUSDC. There's a lot. Just repost, like it over there on X, and let's get the show on the road. So, guys, I think one thing you wake up to and you see your green candles in the Pulsechain ecosystem, and you're looking at all the free copies, you're wondering what in the world is going on. What's going on? Because the free copies, if you remember when Pulsechain first launched, it was like a no-no. I think I saw like every other post was warning people when Pulsechain went live, don't buy the fake copies. They're worthless. They are worthless, right? They're absolutely worthless. And sure enough, they're like the biggest gains in all of Pulsechain. Can you believe that? The biggest gains. pDAI 10,000x from its bottom yesterday. Is the pegging true? Are we getting pegged? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about everything in the Pulsechain ecosystem. But first, I want to look at the price of Ethereum. $3,468 Ethereum. Is Bitcoin finally cooling off with its Bitcoin dominance? Are we going to see the altcoin season begin shortly here? Is it happening? Is it finally happening? Is it? You got to ask yourself, right? It's been a long wait. It's been a long wait. But it looks like we're at the end of the bear market cycle going into a bull market, which they don't last a long time. But I think there's people that are talking about super cycles and all this stuff. I don't really know much of none of that, to be honest with you. I don't know about a super cycle. I don't know how long it could last. I predicted to March 2025, but a $3,472 not Bitcoin, but Ethereum is massive. Why do I say that? Well, let's take a look. We always take a look into, if you go to lookintorh.com, right? Here's the thing where I think a lot more FOMO is to come, a lot more price appreciation is front running the sacrifice funds position, right? So if we take a look here, the sacrifice funds was hundreds of millions of dollars in the red, literally in the red. Now it's only 8%. A measly $51,782,398 in the red, worth $593.81 million. So that was a purchase with the sacrifice funds of 171,088 ETH, right? So total entry price based off the average price point was valued at 645,592,000. Average price for that entry was $3,773. So we're a few $100s away from all these SAC price purchases being dead even, break even. And then once it goes into the green, okay, once that goes into the green, I wouldn't imagine that any SAC funds would come right away. Maybe don't even speculate that that might be the case. Maybe it doesn't need to happen. But what I'll tell you is it's going to create excitement for the simple fact that early 2024, you saw it back in February. Go look where we went to SAC prices on Pulse. And we were just right there with Pulsex, right? And it was because of when the bridge set a 0% fee to bridge over to Pulsechain from Ethereum, we saw the SAC funds come in and start to pump the bags. So we saw a simulation of what could be down the road. And one could only imagine and speculate with that event that took place that Richard Hart or whoever controls the SAC funds will be bringing money over. And what better time to bring money over when you're, let's say, 2x on Ethereum? It's crazy to think that once this is in the green, that people are going to be, based off that smallest simulation, based off of that factor there, are going to be anticipating like, hey, look, Sack Daddy might be coming around the corner soon with some major gains in the hundreds of millions, if even a billion. If he 2x's his position, Ethereum doubles from the $3,775 entry, and it 2x's, walks away with 1.2 billion plus in value. That's a lot to put into the ecosystem. But that's not all, because before that happens, people are going to front run that. Well, they're going to get in before it happens, right? They understand there's a bull market coming, and then all the stable tokens are the fake copies are emerging far beyond our wildest dreams. When you see pDAI 10,000x, now when pDAI first came around, right, the SEC filed the suit. We saw some really bad price action at the very end of July going into August. I had already been looking at pDAI and was buying it. And then we saw, influencers like B-Root, Ian, Coach, all these people dive into the rabbit hole. So I dived into that rabbit hole. I bought me a ton of it. And the narrative was that there was some action going on with pDAI. There was something going on with the pDAI token, right? And people were starting to come up with evidence that there had been some interaction with the pDAI smart contract when it comes to minting, when it comes to things that were changed in the smart contract. There was a lot of things going on that at that time, and we'll pull up the chart here, you'll probably notice that the pDAI chart has changed on Deck Screener, right? You're probably thinking, what in the world? Let's go to the chat really quick, though. G-Man, it's happening, right? It's happening, bro. It's happening. Bro, Sleeping Giants, Wrapped Bitcoin is doing the same numbers also. We will talk about Wrapped Bitcoin because, yes, the fake copy of Bitcoin, the free copy, the PRC20 version of Wrapped Bitcoin has way less supply than what is out there circulating in what you would call the real Bitcoin, right? Or the normal Bitcoin or Bitcoin in general. So we do have a PRC20 wrapped copy of Bitcoin we'll be covering. And, that's a token I've been buying since below $100, speculating, right? And it's long-term speculation. You don't buy these tokens during the bottom of a bear and expect them to peg to or hit parity on whatever given token it is until things start to go in what direction? Into a bull market, bullish direction, right? So Peeps fading, Pulsechain, PTGC, pDAI, Wrap Bitcoin, USDC, and Hex are going to be mega numbers. Peep game bridge is solid, just DCA small amounts, back and forth like under 5K. Don't be greedy, right? Hey yo. Thoughts on Teddy Bear flipping Doge? Yeah, that was what B-Roots was saying. It could happen. We'll take a look. There's going to be a lot of money circulating on this chain for multiple reasons. And pDAI and the stable tokens have a lot to do with that. Crypto Pride, what's up? Let's go. Let's go. Marvelous Crypto Talk, pDAI, bear sending. We'll cover that. We'll cover that. So if you notice on the next screener chart, guys, it like changed and everyone's like, why is it listed in wrapped Bitcoin? So a wrapped Pulse. I believe to make this work, go to the right corner here and you simply invert the chart, right? And you saw how the price corrected here, but it doesn't say the actual price here anymore. I inverted the chart. But when you look at the actual chart, you'll see the price here now listed at 0.01721, over a penny and a half. Okay, over a penny and a half, working its way to damn near close 2 cents. It hit 10,000x from its bottom yesterday. So congratulations to everybody out there who were early believers or early speculators. And, you know, all it was people coming out and providing us information to go into that rabbit hole. And at the time, Pulsechain was so new, everybody was on the defensive. So if you were if you came from the Richard Hart mentality, like Hex Maxi, you became a Pulse Maxi, Pulse X. So there was some early on cannibalism going on, but the community is changing. Reason being is because of the numbers it's done. It's undeniable to look at pDAI and go, did it really just hit 10,000x? You go look at the chart and sure enough, it did. It's a free airdrop, the world's largest airdrop. And these are tokens that were provided to people on Pulsechain that was being held on Ethereum side when it launched. So now we have these green candles. And it was really hard for people to understand it would hit a penny one day. When it hit half a cent, I think everybody was out there, massive correction. We got the massive correction, just like every other cryptocurrency. Big drops. Volatility is the price you pay for mad gains. Who said that? Who said that? RH. And he's been saying these things to us for years. And we'll play a clip. Follow me on X. Okay. It's in the description of the video here on YouTube. Every day I'm going to wake up and I'm going to play some old school videos of RH, because here's the thing for me. All of these clips that you'll see on my X Twitter account, X account, are videos I've played from the very beginning when I first got into pDAI, when I first was holding Pulse. And ever since Richard Hart has broken away from streaming, probably has to do with the SEC lawsuit, I've had to watch these to gain my confidence in my position. Because throughout the time of holding Hex, it wasn't just about my stakes that kept me in my positions, but whatever I held liquid, the confidence to hold that to peak prices was listening to Richard Hart streams, was watching him and building that confidence. So to revisit those videos and to watch those in the morning, especially before a bull market, I watched, and I'll play the video I played this morning, but I watch these and understand like who the founder of this blockchain is, the power of the things he has said, the amount of times he has said over and over, not your keys, not your crypto, the warning signals he gave in advance for FTX, the warning advances he's given on about everything that has succeeded from the outside and he knew would crumble from the inside and steal your money. He's told you, how to be true DeFi investors, okay? And in these messages, he has been telling us before, and we're talking years before pDAI even was a thing, before it was even airdropped, even before Pulsechain went live, that there are things such as, in his words, tricks he got up his sleeve, right? And we're going to play a clip because as we look at the chart here, it's not just pDAI that's going up. pUSDC is pegged with pDAI, and it's been for well over a month now. And we saw that happen in real time. And we're going, what the heck? Why did this happen? All right. Now we see pUSDT behind, right? Maria, if you know the Atropa developer, has talked about how USDT, and I talked about this before in camera, USDT, Maria came out and said, would be the play, the investment, because it's trailing the stable token of pDAI, the PRC20 version of DAI. And it would be the investment you get into for more gains if you weren't in DAI early, right? So it would make sense to buy that. It'd be a more lucrative move. So I started buying it, well below 0.001 ever since I saw that video, which everyone has access to watch those videos when you go on YouTube. Maria, the developer of Atropa, the liquidity webs, all those things to support pDAI was creating something to support USDT as well. So I went down that rabbit hole. I bought a lot of it. Now we're seeing it go up in price like crazy, drastically. Will it reach parity with USDC and pDAI? I think, yeah, it will. I think, yeah, it will reach a parity between the two. And PEG, it's like the strength of the narrative of these tokens pegging is becoming stronger because people are now going back and seeing the things that Richard Hart has said and are realizing, like, whoa, he's been telling us all along that he has a plan and some tricks up his sleeve. Let's take a look. Follow me on X. I posted this yesterday. I'll pull it up. Posted this yesterday, right? Let me go ahead and...
It's an interesting question for you. This will be fun.
So I'm going to put it on the big screen here for you, and I'm going to press play. Let's tune in.
This will be really fun. Pulsechain is fucking interesting because it does things that have never been done before. I think this will blow your mind. People think that Tether is worth $1 because it often trades for $1 on exchanges. But we know that for a while, Tether was fractionally reserved because they had about $600 million seized from a bank.
Right.
And who knows what the real fractional reserve is? Nobody fucking knows.
Yeah.
So, but it still traded near $1. And then that makes you wonder, what if it was 100% fractionally reserved? Would it still trade for $1? At what point might, I don't know. So when Pulsechain forks Tether, which has admin keys, they could just invalidate all the coins. But their users would probably sue them for doing that because I think that those Tether, even though they're not going to be redeemable for anything, I think they're going to have a value on Pulsechain. I just have no idea what it is. So it's going to be so crazy to see whether stable coins that have no backing at all actually have a value and what that value is on this new chain.
And it's going to be an interesting experiment.
Yeah,
it will be. And this was the bit that kind of got me, was when somebody was saying that, hey, they're going to duplicate the entire state of Ethereum, duplicate all of the ERC20 tokens, and suddenly you're going to have double. And I was like, well, wait a minute, you're not really going to have double. You're going to have, if you've got 1,000,
we'll have different parameters,
Tether
right?
ERC20, and you've now got 1,000 PRC20 Tether. Those PRC20 Tether are going to have an entirely different value to the ERC20 one for the reason you just described.
For sure, yeah,
100%. It's a totally different price discovery, and because the PRC20 tokens are not used anywhere else, they're going to be worthless. And then,
I don't think so.
That's going to be the problem.
I don't I got a few tricks up my sleeve. I got some more cool shit coming. I'll tell you about.
Well, you may well do. Everybody does. But,
No, I have more than most. I'm the founder of a $50 billion cryptocurrency. I have more than most.
Yeah, you can brag about that. I mean, that's fine. But that doesn't change the facts, right?
So you see right there, that clip is from years ago, an interview from years ago. And he had delivered this message way before Pulsechain launched, way before the free airdrop. So when I watched clips like this, back when I started buying pDAI, when I picked up, pUSDC, USDT, I was looking at it from, well, he has tricks up his sleeve. He has a plan. He doesn't know what the price will be. But I thought, he's going to anticipate that he possibly could give the price action to possibly peg. There's a lot of clips out there where he talks about this, a lot. And it was never hard to find. It was just hard to believe for people. And I think early on that everybody just wanted to disagree and discredit and say, hey, it's impossible, right? Because they're used to the typical way that USDT is backed. by, dollars that we might not even know truly be there. And it's crazy because if Richard Hart has been plotting something for a long time and he has, some things up his sleeves, some tricks up his sleeves, we have seen this evolve on one token already, that 10,000x, and that's pDAI. But what did we see 10,000x prior to that? Hex. So this guy knows how to program money, right? It's one of those things where you go against other people in the community when this narrative of pDAI and free copies of the stable tokens pegging, and there was a huge heated debate, and we're all striking each other with words, and you see the trolling and the fighting. This argument has never been about player versus player, community members versus community players. You've been arguing with Richard Hart, okay? He hasn't come out and said, I can peg it, all right? I'm going to peg it. He has been hinting that he has plans. So when you get a free copy of a token at dirt cheap prices, like when these stable tokens were first in existence, and the fact that you didn't buy them based off the fact that you didn't think it could hit $1, you missed 10,000x gains, knowing that he has said he has some tricks up his sleeves. He has some things planned. And I really don't feel like most people realize that in the heat of the moment. Now the narrative is so strong, I believe it will supersede most of the meme tokens out there as far as the strength, as far as why new users will come to Pulsechain. Okay. People go to Solana, people go to Ethereum to buy meme tokens for life-changing gains. They like the quick money. Once we hit the 1 penny mark with pDAI, just like we did yesterday, like we have recently, it shook the space. Word is getting out. It's trending all over Twitter. And when the masses of people that are out there getting wrecked on pump fund, getting wrecked on meme tokens, start to hear that there could possibly be a token that's under 2 cents that could potentially hit $1, and that's the narrative, that's gains for them that they can understand. Just like they think they're going to hit it big and get rich in crypto off these meme tokens, it's good that a lot of them are getting wrecked and they could come here, and now the education has all been laid out. The narrative of it hitting peg is stronger than ever. Now everyone that has been the doubters and the naysayers are coming out and saying, well, I have a bag just in case. Well, I think you've been converted to a believer. You believe that it probably can happen now that you know the numbers, which is good. It's bringing the community together to storm around this narrative because we need users. And the retail users out there that are dumb enough to buy meme tokens will be the ones that I wouldn't say are dumb enough to buy pDAI, but they are the ones that will believe. And then they will discover Teddy Bear. They'll discover wrapped Bitcoin. If you guys want to take a look at wrapped Bitcoin price right now, that's even another narrative that's out there, right? We saw this early on when it launched and it went to about 2,500. Richard Hart put the free copy of wrapped Bitcoin on his farm, on the PulseX farm, and took it off. It was there though. Why did he do that? Why did he remove it? What were his intentions? Did he get a simulation or the data that he needed? Why did he remove it? That's a big question mark. But after it got removed and it got wrecked to $40, it was like $40, $30. I was buying and just kept buying it. Because I told myself, I said, whatever reason he put it on there, he took a big risk. It went to like $2,500 and it crashed hard, right? Once he removed it, it was no longer as big as a risk buying it as the one on the way up when it started to hit the floor and crash. And I was just like, why would he do that? He took that risk. He did it. He had something in his mind planned out for it. All right. It's at $1,285 and things are looking exciting right now in Pulsechain. The free copies are moving. There are some strings being played around with in the background, and there are some things that are happening on the smart contracts. There are some people that are purchasing. Richard holds, I believe, like 55% or so of pDAI. Richard owns probably way more percent of this on Wrapped Bitcoin, but if we want to look at the holders, we can, right? And when you'll notice when you look at the holders page on Wrapped Bitcoin, the total supply is 154,410 wrapped Bitcoin. The supply is massively smaller than actual Bitcoin, right? So supply and demand, the number one wallet, which I believe people believe this is one of RH's wallets that he got the airdrop for. I can't verify. I could dig deeper, but it's enough for me to take a look at the supply and go, okay, enough hype around this. You'll see supply shock pretty quick, right? Supply shock like you've never seen before. How would they back it? How would they keep the price up? I don't know. That's really up to the community. But these narratives are real out there, and they have been so real that you see this price action. People saw the 10,000x on DAI. They see the stable tokens are getting closer in price. They're mooning. All the R8 tokens are moving right now, and then you have outside of the core tokens like Pulsex, on their way to sack prices hopefully soon. You have Ink and Hex. Everything is starting to move. And right now that's outperformed the entire system as far as core tokens has been the free copies. So now people are looking at what other free copies can I get, right? What other free copies can I get? And I'll piece this together for you, right? And give you a prime example of, a position of one that I'm buying right now. Buying a lot of it is Aave, right? Look, it's a free copy. It's a free copy. Like we've always just been doing nothing but speculating on these free copies as their dirt price and compared to the original copies, right? So we look at Aave right now. The price on Pulsechain is 34.5 cents. You come to coinmarketcap.com. You can see it's $179 token, right? So we are, as the community, are the ones that are going to provide liquidity. We're the ones that will buy the tokens. If they reach parity on the other side, as far as where they are on Ethereum, it's totally, up to us. And, that speculation and those theories about pDAI are strong and different, but they got it to a penny. So the way you got to look at it is can you make money on them? Well, it's proven that most of them you can and already have at this point, especially, Aave, if you've been buying, it's up from 10 cents. We're at 34 cents. You can go further back. It's been up and down, but these free copies are there for a reason. What they'll hit is only just pure speculation. Okay. It's interesting. So I'm deep diving into these and I'm looking at, okay, well, who's one of the top holders that I can recognize? And some of you may know this person as the famous Fire Whale, right? The founder of SolidX. But I know, his address, one of his address by heart. And I know he bought 104,000 tokens because I had bought in prior and my bags pumped all crazy. I was like, who's buying this token? At the time. It was a while back. And it was his address, about 104,000 tokens. So if you want to look at Fire Whale, right? I follow Richard Hart because he is a billionaire. He's been buying and mining Bitcoin since the early days. So I don't act like I know more than him. I just follow, his lead and what he says. But Firewhale has a massive portfolio, massive. And he's got these huge positions, right? And Aave, I know he's got a massive position in that. So that's why I bought it. Just harpooned a massive whale out there, a founder of a crypto, understanding that he has this free copy here. You'll see it here on his wallet. And, he's got, $19 million in farms on PulseX. Across the board, he's big time player, right? Massive player. So if he's buying it, I'm buying it. Hands down. So I made that decision a long time ago. So I think it's just one of those things where you take the risk. Crypto's high risk, high reward. Volatility is the price you pay for mad gains. But just remember, for example, with like wrapped Bitcoin, it does have admin keys. pUSDT does have admin keys. However, Richard has said with like pUSDT, if they were to invalidate the tokens, he didn't feel like it was probably likely would happen because their users would sue them. There's a lot of people that would sue Tether. So I don't. It doesn't seem like that's a route that they'd want to take, right? And I'm looking at this and going, well, does that apply to everything else, like a Aave or anything like that? I don't know if it has keys. I'm sure it does. It has admin keys, and Richard doesn't like admin keys. But we are seeing some things happen with MakerDAO. People on Pulsechain are buying this token for voting purposes, so that they can go in there and vote to provide collateral to peg pDAI. That's a huge thing that's happening right now. $37 on Pulsechain. Well, let's take a look at what Maker, right, is valued at on its actual origin chain of Ethereum. $1,900 token. So even if you were to get 10% of that price in the near future because of hype at $190, you make a lot of money buying PMaker at $37.10. And these aren't price points that would be hard to hit. There's only $296,000 in liquidity. That's low liquidity. Obviously, like Richard Hart has talked about, it can moon very easily for those reasons. So I am taking the free copies serious. I always have been. And I'm not grifting away from the core tokens. I got my PulseX, farming my ink. But the gains have been massive in other areas, right? The Pulsechain investor that got into free copies as far as the stables, they got into PTGC. They got into UFO, for example, are doing really good. UFO's killing it. But PTGC, absolutely killing it, right? I'm a day one investor. Your ratio is now at 1 to 5.2 wrapped pulse. That's a lot I get back from our original entry on PTGC. So really pat yourself on the back, because if you are a maxi of pulse, great. If you risked it for the biscuit and went into the Gray's currency, PTGC, early on, you'd have way more pulse than you started with. You'd be one happy camper. So I think it's the reality that's going on in Pulsechain is finding out what is a good design. The developer of PTGC followed all the principles of Richard Hart. No admin keys, immutable, smart contract, running flawless, operates on its own. Literally runs on its own, doesn't need human trading volume. It has, bots trading volume. They call it the alien technology of what's working on the front end, on the back end of this token to continuously outperform Pulse. So then the second opportunity with the same mechanics has been implemented for UFO. Still early for both, because if Pulsechain takes off, You know, the moon math calculator shows you that PGC will take off many more X's based off the X multiplier. Same thing with UFO. And it's a beautiful thing. In the end, you end up with way more pulse than when you got in at. And it really was like not a situation where you could lose based off the tech and the mechanics. So it's people are starting to wake up. And I love that people are starting to wake up now, because the community has distanced themselves from, you know, the core principles of what Richard Hart has taught them, you know. And if he were to come out and say, hey, I want you to build on Pulsechain, he would say, here are the core principles, right? And he's never going to be one to do that. It's not going to show another project. But if there was something, right, if there was something to take place and a project that was going to come out, you know, you better have those core principles. You better have those core principles if you want, you know, if you want the blessings of Richard Hart, or even to respect you. Not going to come out and say it publicly. I doubt he will. Maybe at one point he will. But if you follow, you know, what he's done with Hex and everything else, everyone else that believes in those principles and seen what he's done with them will follow you. And that's where the Grace currency, PTGC, and UFO are at right now, right? I think right now the community it's taken a while, but they have evolved and are united for the greater good at this point. Green candles changed a lot of things, right? What up? My bags are fat. Let's go, right? Hey, listen, man. I was making the coffee this morning, looking at prices. I was in the kitchen doing the Jerome chant.
I think you're wrong in the hell. Watch your mouth without a doubt. Jumping on the
And that's that dance right there, man, where, you know, you wake up in the morning, you see them green candles, just start doing that. The wife's like, chill, man.
Daddy, chill.
What the hell is even that?
Get the Jerome dance going. Get everybody, all the kids went, what are you doing? Oh, Pulsechain must be up, huh? Pulsechain must be up, you know. So just as a reminder, man, I just think that we have the founder that's retired. He's been in this space so long, right? Mining Bitcoin so early on, bought Bitcoin so early on. I want you to watch this clip. Again, follow me on X. I'm going to keep playing these for people because I think it's good to draw strength from during this period in time where you don't want to fade your RH tokens. Not a financial advisor, but I do this because I don't want to fade my RH tokens. This is back. This video was before Hex launched, and it was literally called Bitcoin Hex, and he just renamed it to Hex. Take a look.
All right, now, Rich, you've been head down on your own project on Hex, I believe it's called. Tell us a little bit about Hex before we let you go.
It's better than Bitcoin. Higher throughput, lower fees, free coin given to Bitcoin holders. Snapshot should be in about 50 days. Bug bounty programs audited externally. Bitcoin's not. Never had an inflation bug. You know, you make the most gains by being the first in a coin. People that are buying Bitcoin now for $5,000 are buying my bags that I bought at $30, right? So if you want to make 1,000x return on a coin, you're not going to be able to do it in Bitcoin. You have to do it in something that starts new. And that's what Bitcoin Hex is. It used to be called Bitcoin Hex. Now it's just called hex.win. It's amazing. It's got every single thing in it that could make the price go higher quickly. You get paid for staking and locking up your coins instead of miners. So instead of miners constantly selling and dumping on the market, in this token, there's no dumping. You can't dump coins that are locked. And you can see who's locked their coins and how long they locked them for. It's the first internet blockchain CD, certificate of deposit. In your country, you might call it a time deposit. There's no other product like it. It's amazing.
And Rich,
so that's a clip I wanted to show you guys. That goes way back, you know, way back. Those were clips I was watching before I went into Hex, and I was like, dude, there's something special about this guy, something that gives you confidence. Someone said, are you buying PWE? No, this has been, I don't know how long you've been on Pulsechain, but this was figured out a while back. the wrap ETH, the PRC20 is pegged to the price of Pulse. They go together, just about pegged, right? So it'll never be more or probably even less than Pulse. Yeah, my pDAI bag heavy, bro. You're right. Can you explain more PTGC and UFO? Ask the question, and I can see if I can pull it up, like what question you have for that. But until then, post it, and I'll take a look. But right now, like I've been telling my people for months in R2R, I'm telling them for months based on what Maria said, USDT, since it's trailing behind, right? Think of it this way. It's not pegged yet to the price of pDAI. But let's say, I'm hearing a lot of people say pDAI is going to go to 3 cents and pull back. Well, if pDAI goes to 3 cents, right, that would roughly put USDT probably like $0.015. You'd double up your bag, right? You'd double up your USD value or buy a lot more before it gets to that price. But if pDAI does hit 3 cents and crashes, you know, that's crypto. And I assume it will continue to recover by design the way things are happening, especially with the web of liquidity through Atropa and the bots and all that, and how things could possibly be collateralized. I think it'll just go right back to 3 cents within a short time frame. Same concept when it works its way to 10 cents, and let's say it drastically drops 50% to 5 cents. It'll work its way back up to 10 cents. We've been seeing this simulation play out on pDAI for the course of many months, several months now, on the recovery and how the LP continues to thicken, the pDAI that's being burned. We've moved a long way in the direction of seeing how it operates, right? And you know, we're not in a position yet where we could say, hey, you're late on these tokens, right? We ain't late. When you look at UFO, when you look at PTGC, when you look at the free copies across the board, you got to remember, right, your prices that are sacrifice prices for the core tokens. And we're below SAC prices. So once that movement happens and we get back to SAC prices, imagine where we're at a 2x from SAC, at a 3x, at a 4x, at a 5x. Ethereum is 7,500, maybe hit 8,000, 9,000. We'll see. Maybe Richard does bring money over and it's in 2x profit from the SAC funds. Maybe pDAI does hit $1. The numbers are insane of what it'll do across the board to all of the ecosystem and the free copies and everything else. Whether they hit, like, it's hard to think that, okay, wrap Bitcoin could hit 100,000, but then you go, there's only 154,000 tokens, right? Thomas, what about, oh, Enki, yeah. Somebody brought it up during the PTGC interview, and I went and bought it, all right? And let me take a look at where it's at this morning. The last I looked, I was up big. So thank you for whoever brought that up during the live stream on Friday. I aped. I asked him, I was like, are you endorsing it? He says, I'm not endorsing it, but I know the person who created it and their purpose behind it and how it supports the platform. He said, I just, endorse my own projects. And from that, I was like, it made me feel like, okay, he bought some. He bought some and everybody else is. So I'm doing really good. When was that interview on Friday? I'm up. And I don't even know like the core mechanics behind it. I just saw the community was excited. It was all over the chat on Friday in the live stream. So, I just like, hey, I'm going to go on, because he didn't discredit it and call it a scam. He just said simply, we're on a stream about PTGC. I endorse my own products. I know who that person is and what they're doing for the greater good, and respected the work, right? But just clearly said, like, it's not like an endorsement time right now or say anything, but hey, It paid off. It paid off. NKey is undervalued. It's only a $1.6 million market cap as well. Even though market cap is just a vanity number, people will look at that and go, you know, take us to Valhalla. Hey, Team P Coins will take us to Valhalla. Yeah. What's up, Hex Made? Pound the like button. You guys got to pound those like buttons on YouTube and on X and retweet everything. Follow me on X. I apes in stupid on Thursday. Yeah. I'm just gonna hold it. You know, I'm gonna hold tight. You know, not financial advice, but I'll give you the list of like the PRC20 free copies I'm all up in. You know, outside of pDAI, definitely loaded up a lot of pUSD for months now. What was the other ones I was just mentioning? Aave and Maker are two that I'm in heavy. Again, Fire Whale is in Aave. You know, he's massive. Speaking of Fire Whale, people want to take a look at Teddy Bear, right? Teddy Bear, ranked number 1. B Root said it will pass Doge's market cap. Is that what he said? Is that what he said? I can't recall exactly what he said. NKey founder is a legend. I will vouch for him. He's so undervalued. Yeah, I need to find out more about what I just aped into. I'm not gonna lie. I saw you on stream, which Viber Finance, follow him on YouTube. Because if you go over there and you take a look at all the tokens he's looking at on Pulsechain and outside, he digs deep. He's in the rabbit hole on this chain, that chain, across the board utility stuff that's important for the bull run. So follow Viber Finance. I saw him mention it on stream. I saw tweets from people. I saw all kinds of stuff. So that was my research. I'll ask questions later. I still haven't had a chance because I've been busy with family and doing things to even research it. I bought it and I'm up, and that's all I know. That's all I need. Am I up? Okay, good. Also interesting, the price of pDAI roughly mirrors the price of Bitcoin. You earned wrapped BTC, Teddy Bear, pDAI, and Tropo holding NKey. Oh, am I really? I'm earning these tokens right now? To be honest, I probably wouldn't even notice it because my bags are just there sitting and I don't look at them. I try not to look because of the prices right now. Well, right now, right, because of the fact that when you hit a point in crypto where you've bought a lot of something, right, and you're up a lot, it becomes really tough. I ain't gonna lie, it becomes really tough to not sell. I gotta remind myself why to hodl. So I go back. I got my coffee this morning. Again, follow me on X. This is the post I put earlier this morning on X for everybody to draw confidence from, to watch and go, hey.
Is Richard Hart launching a shitcoin?
Richard, you are about to launch your own cryptocurrency this month, which is Hex, which is, as far as I understand, is a certificate. Yeah, exactly. Certificate of deposit on the blockchain, which can be used to earn interest. Yes. So you define Hex, Richard's upcoming project, a shitcoin. So why do you think it's a shitcoin?
He created it out of thin air. He's basically selling you monopoly money, and he has a shit ton of it. And if he gives enough of it away and he convinces people to promote it and pays a bunch of trolls and sock puppets to leave comments all over the internet promoting this monopoly money he gave away, he gets to make a lot of money on the back end because he's probably holding the majority of it.
Can you defend it?
So while Tone pretends to be able to predict price and pretends to be good at things so that he charges you for them, I charge you for nothing. I offer better price calls than he does, and I offer better performance than he does. And I don't delete my calls. He may not either. So just go and look them up historically. I called the 20K Christmas when the price was 4K. I called short at 19K. You can go verify this. He was wrecked the entire way, okay? Now, about giving people money. You can give him money on your credit card, on your PayPal, on your Bitcoin, anyway, because he's broke and he needs your money. I don't need your money. I retired in 2003.
I give you free price calls, free chat, now free tokens, free self-help books. You can't pay me money. You don't know my Bitcoin address. You can't pay me credit card. I don't have any shopping cart where you could possibly pay me. So to be called a scammer by this guy that will do anything he can to make money, when I do everything for free as a retired serial entrepreneur, is absurd to me. Now, while he talks about crypto and pretends he knows what it's about, I'm actually building it. I'm actually designing it. When I first got into Bitcoin, it was free, and I mined it for free. And that's why I went all in on it after I got it for free. Now, the only people that are getting freemium onboarding is Ravencoin and Ethereum and Monero. Because
man, that 20K Christmas, if I had been watching Richard Hart back then and saw the 20K Christmas, that was my first. That had been when I bought so much Bitcoin at $250. By that time, I had like 28-ish Bitcoin at this call that he said, the 20K Christmas, the 19K short. If I had heard this and understood, I would have sold all my Bitcoin. But instead, I've just round tripped all of it till now. So I'm looking to possibly exit with that Bitcoin, where I've gotten a little bit more on top of that over the years. But I had bought, 28 Bitcoin, dirt cheap, $250 to like $500 average price. If I would have known, I would have sold it at the top and bought the bottom at 3K. But hey, I watch things like this because you'll see like other founders, other streamers, talk bad about Pulsechain. You see Eric Wall, and Eric Wall is a smart guy, but you got to remember, like, Richard Hart is schooled him too. And I got some clips I'm going to be posting on X between those two, and stay tuned. I'll do a few of those per day. It's very entertaining, but I'm doing it because it's important to remember the strengths that I had about holding and the confidence I had about my stakes, that 10,000x gains from the very beginning when I got in, was watching this guy constantly, like every morning and night, religiously, learning and just feeling confident. So I watch him now religiously, now that we're at the very tip or at the very beginning of a bull market, to just keep holding and holding, because we haven't seen anything yet, right? And he's demolished Tonvei's probably every round of this. I'll have more clips out, but it's insane. It's insane, right? It's crazy. Man, when Richard Hart comes back to stream, it's going to get nuts, right? Right? I met Tone V. He is a geologist like me, not a trader. He told me he graduated with a geology degree. Yeah, that's funny, because Tone V's in this debate, Richard Hart is bagging on him for charging people $850 for a trading system that he pretty much copied from another trader and sold it. And then on top of that, you get a dinner with him. But yeah, Tone V's, Bitcoin maxi. There's a lot of them. Richard was a Bitcoin maxi, then he was Ethereum maxi, and you see how he's evolved with the tech, right? Pulse chain 10,000x income, and dude, if Pulse hits a penny, boy howdy. Honestly, if you could pick one from Pulse chain ecosystem, what would it be? I'm not a financial advisor, but I told myself for my bags that my pick, right? Because now, literally, USDT is only going to give you pUSDT will give you 100x gains to hit $1. pDAI is less than 100x. And seeing that UFO and PTGC is an X multiplier, do your research on PTGC and UFO. And if you can come up with the conclusion that that would be your best bet too, then we're in agreement. I'll put it that way. This feels like the top, not the beginning of a bull market to me. Hey, maybe, maybe not. If PTGC hits a penny, that's a boy howdy on steroids, right? I agree. But remember, Bitcoin, the reason why I don't feel a top this year is because Bitcoin is going to have its Bitcoin dominance drain out, and there will be an altcoin season. So I can't imagine the altcoin season has even begun yet. When it erupts, you'll know everything will be going up drastically. So Ethereum has yet to have its day. It will have its day, and the altcoin season will begin. Bitcoin dominance will just drop, and Bitcoin will continue to go up, but you'll start to see more market cap flow into the market. So Based off every cycle I've seen, we haven't seen those things play out. They have identically done the same thing over and over. Bitcoin takes off, Bitcoin dominance drops. We go into the alt season, Bitcoin goes up, everything goes up. And then we pour into a bear market and people don't even realize that it came and gone. You know, let's see. Talk about the hyper collapse. I don't know what that is. I feel like your channel is undervalued. You deserve more. I think you should start doing streaming with other people to improve your channel. Yeah, I'd love to stream with other influencers on Pulsechain. We're going to stream Pulsechain every day, Monday through Fridays, 9:30. Starting next week, the time is going to go back to 9:30 a.m. PST, and then Fridays 10 a.m. PST. And I'll go on other people's streams. So whoever wants to, do that, I'll be more than happy to. I've gone on with other influencers, Vibra Finance. I got to get on Vibra's channel again. Just my kind of guy. A very, very smart. Follow him. Knows his stuff, and you want to connect with people that know their things too. Because I've had conversations with some people, and I'm like, you don't have the experience or the knowledge. Like our conversation won't mesh well, right? I posted this the other day. We'll look at this one last one on Twitter, right? I posted this one the other day on how it was pretty much ahead of everything. Like he's always been several steps ahead of the SEC even before Pulsechain with Hex. So you got to really give the guy some credit. Like he just knew the law. And he did everything to the T. And you heard that the judge was telling in the courtroom, these are witnesses. They're saying in the SEC case that that's his money. He can do what he wants with it. Like those are positive signs. But let's watch this before Pulsechain, before the SEC, in defense to where did the ETH go? Remember when they had the early adoption amplifier, the AAA lobby, right? This was one of those things where ETH was going in an auction every day to get Hex, and everyone's like, where did the ETH go? Why don't we know where the ETH went? Well, was anybody thinking about the SEC then? No. They were just like, where did the ETH go? Well, here you go.
Fucking scammer.
You're breaking the word. If you knew where the ETH went, you might expect profit from it. If you thought it went to someone who liked Ethereum, you might think the Ethereum price was going to go up because it might be getting locked or burnt or staked or something. Well, guess what? If you don't know where it's going, then whoever has those keys can't make you any promises. Then they can't violate the Howey law for you having expectations you shouldn't have. Because you shouldn't expect any good thing to happen from that money. Nothing. It's not your money.
Fucking scammer.
Where's breaking the word?
In a game of chess is what people would call this, right? With Richard Hart. In a game of chess, when the SEC showed up on the scene, based off what I look back and what he's discussed in that clip and many other clips that you'll see, follow me on X, that are discussing the SEC and the Howey test and all those things. When the SEC and Richard Hart finally met on the chessboard, it was already checkmate. And for a moment there, I didn't see it. Now I see it, and I see the how things are evolving. It was checkmate, bro. It was checkmate. It happened in the most perfect way. He had been prepared from this from day one. So there's not a lot of projects and founders who have built on blockchain who were this well prepared. A matter of fact, a lot of them took the idea that you can just say no expectations and post that in a white paper. You see it all over crypto, no expectations. I've seen it in like scams that have come and gone too. Big scams have come and said no expectations, right? Thinking that verbiage was enough. But then you look back and you go, well, the founders have said where the ETH is gone and where it can go. If whether you go into an auction lobby with your ETH, or you mint a token like with Zen, if that ETH gets distributed to an area where the investors could see it on chain or on a UI and know what its purpose is, like he says there, if you were to lock or stake, you now have expectations of profit for that ETH. And that's where he says staking or burning. Like if you think the ETH is going to burn, well, you have expectations to make profit off that ETH in the burn, right? So he's very smart about that. And that's where when they finally met on the chessboard, it was checkmate, baby. It was checkmate, you know? See, heck yeah, anytime you want, maybe this Friday. Yeah, we could work it out. Reach out to me because it's Thanksgiving. So I don't know. I might be stuck at a mall or something like that, or, you know, with the wife and kids. Maybe I'll be at the MGM Grand. Maybe I'll be eating at Boulder Station, a steak buffet, and some lobster, or at Sam's Club, or Circus. You never know. But hit me up. We'll work something out, bro. None of the sacrifice wallets have moved yet. Who you think is buying? I want to say RH with ETH staking wallet, but I can't verify it. It's definitely big players that are coming back to the ecosystem, chasing the candles from other ecosystems out there. You know, there's a lot of things that are taking place right now, but FOMO and new users coming on is definitely probably where we're going to attract the most, because I think the pDAI narrative is big enough for meme coin people on Solana to go, it's cheap to transact on Pulsechain. Here's what I wish would have took place. This would have been the best onboarding mechanics, and I hope somebody has it soon. A bridge from Solana to Pulse, because if you get that bridge from Solana to Pulse, I'll be out there screaming at the top of the mountains to all the degen meme coiners out there that there's a place they can call home with Teddy Bear, you know, and all these alien names. They'll love it. They'll love it. Aliens and UFOs is big right now, right? It's a big narrative. And how these P copies have moved. All you got to say is, hey, Solana guys over there on Pump Fund, you guys are getting wrecked. Well, we just 10,000x on a free token. It's actually what they call a PRC20 fake copy. It's getting real. Come on over. And they'll come. They're getting tired of getting wrecked over there. Meme coin season doesn't seem to be playing out like it was, unless you got into Nero CTO like I did and made a little bit way too much money. But hey, I told you guys about Nero CTO at what in my group at 800K market cap, on YouTube like 1.9 million. It went to 1.1 billion. What could I say? But I'll shout out the top of the mountains to my meme coin guys who love me for Nero CTO and say, come on over, right? Can't you just use change now? Yeah, the complexity of that, you know, we don't know how a user would feel using that. If you have a dedicated bridge where you are on Solana and you can be on your mobile app, user-friendly, because everyone does. I have never used crypto on my smartphone, ever. I don't even know how people do it. I just don't operate that way. But they're on their smartphone, go to the bridge and bridge over and buy their tokens. Everyone wants to be on the go buying and go about their business, you know? Everyone's on their phone. You catch them on phone on their church, everywhere, while they're driving. So the most convenient thing to do is make a bridge that's mobile app friendly from Solana to Pulsechain, and leave the rest to the people like me and out there that will be like, boom, here you go, right? Shout out the top of the mountains. One click, get here, get your teddy bear, get your UFO, get your PTGC, get your fake copies, get your pulse, because you got to buy pulse to get this. It's a beautiful thing. And I think that'll happen. I think it'll happen. We'll see. But we've been an hour, guys. The pDAI stable token narratives are huge. Follow me on X. Links in the description. Follow me on YouTube. Post notifications. We'll do every day Pulsechain content, and stay out for those Richard Hart clips on X. If you need your confidence, if you feel like selling, go to Thomas G's X account and watch those clips and get your strength from there, because sometimes you just need to put on a good old fashioned RH clip to build your confidence. And I'm telling you, you do that, you know, you'll probably buy more instead of sell any tokens. Don't forget to pound the like button, drop a comment. Until next time, we shall do it again. Yeah, dog.
Lady of the Faucets, let's get it. Woo! Woo! Yeah. It's R2R. It's R2R. Back to riches. Back to riches. It's R2R. It's R2R. Back to riches. Back to riches. It's R2R. It's R2R. Back to riches. Back to riches. It's R2R. It's R2R. Back to riches. Back to riches. Got my call from the R2R. Farmers going up, Brody, check the chart. In the loots, buying all these plots. Thomas G and Mike got the chat on lock. Wanna drip and pause. Got these dogs and pigeons, farm me, I'm ready to score. Got me a bag of the rich and hard, I think I need more. Group got me in the wave, now I'm swimming the shore. Now I'm up to the core. It's R2R, it's R2R. Back to riches, back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R. Back to riches, back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R. Back to riches, back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R. Back to riches, back to riches.